All right, so this video is all about what area that you should live in if you're going to make a move here to Murrieta, California. If you're thinking about making a move here to the city of Murrieta, I think this is going to be a really helpful video for you. We're going to talk about the different parts of town. We're going to compare West Murrieta versus Central Murrieta versus East Murrieta, give you some pros and cons of each, and hopefully give you guys some really good information on what it's like to actually live here and what areas that you should really focus on if you and your family are thinking this is the place for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here in Temecula, California, in Murrieta, California, here at Keller Williams. And like I mentioned, this video is all about the city of Murrieta and what part of town that you should be making a move to. So we're going to compare some different parts of town. We're going to give you pros and cons. And especially if you don't live here in the area currently, I think this is going to be a really helpful video. There are definitely some pros and cons to living on the west side versus the east side versus Central Murrieta, and I'll give you some other information about some of the local communities and whatnot as well. But the first thing, before I get into all the info, if you're liking real estate videos like this and you want to see more local real estate content, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. So we have new videos that come out each and every week. We have videos talking about Murrieta, the city of Temecula, the city of Menifee. We have market update videos to keep you guys updated on what's going on each week. We have new home community tours. And all types of videos. Now we have hundreds of videos that we posted, and we have new ones that come out each week. So if you want to see more, like I said, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and then if you guys have any specific real estate questions, of course I'd love to hear from you. So you can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. I have people that reach out all the time. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, and of course I'm happy to at least give you some guidance, or of course myself and my team, we'd love to help you out with your search and help you through the process. So that number is my personal cell phone. It goes directly to me. So feel free to reach out. Okay, so we're going to talk about Murrieta. The easiest way to think about the city of Murrieta is it's really broken up in three chunks. So we have the freeways. So you have the 15 freeway, runs pretty north and south for the most part. And then on the west side of the freeway is you have one section of town, one chunk of town, and that's called West Murrieta. So it's on the west side of the 15 freeway. Kind of easy if you think about it like that. It's on the west side of the 15 freeway. And then you have that 15 freeway. You also have the 215 freeway. So in that space between the two freeways is called Central Murrieta. So you have west of the 15 is West Murrieta, between the two freeways, Central Murrieta, and then east of the 215 is going to be called East Murrieta. So pretty simple: West Murrieta, Central Murrieta, East Murrieta, and I'll give you kind of some of the differences. So West Murrieta tends to be the most desirable for people. It also tends to be the most expensive. So it is a very nice area. Some of the pros are people like being on the west side because it's very close to that 15 freeway. So if you commute, it's much more convenient to be right there off of the 15. You can jump on it, you can go south, you can go north. There's a couple different freeway off-ramps right there. 3 different freeway off-ramps that you can easily jump on, so that makes it super accessible. Also, if you're in West Murrieta, it's a smaller chunk of town, but there's still everything that you need is still going to be over there. So there's multiple grocery stores, there's the high school is there, the middle school is there, the elementary schools are over there, there's other shopping centers, there's like the Old Town Murrieta area, so there's your downtown, a couple nicer restaurants, that type of stuff, but there's gyms over there, everything. It's almost like a little town within itself. So and there's not a lot of major streets, so there are not a ton of traffic, right? Not a bunch of thoroughfare. It's relatively easy to drive through, and not super congested. So those tend to be the pros for people. They like being over on that side. And actually, some people, like when we look at houses, if they live on West Murrieta, they're like, I only want to look on the west side. This is the only place that I want to focus on. The other reason that it's really good is if you are commuting north at all. So if you're going to commute to, say, Corona or even parts of Orange County or anything north where you need to go on the 15 freeway freeway and go north. It's much more convenient to be in West Murrieta because you have easy access to that 15 freeway. You jump on it, boom, you can go, jump on the freeway, go north real easily, and makes it super, super accessible. So it tends to be the most desirable. There's definitely some nice neighborhoods over there, but it also tends to be the most expensive. Central Murrieta, so it's kind of in the middle, get in the middle of the two freeways, so between the 15 and the 215 freeway, kind of that central area there. Central Murrieta, it tends to be, it's the least expensive portion of town in general. The pros are the big thing for people when they buy a home there, 90%, you can't say all, but almost also 90% of the houses there have no HOAs and low taxes. So that is a big thing in this area where different neighborhoods might have no HOA, low HOA, or up to high HOA, and those taxes can range anywhere from an extra $400 a year to an extra $5,000 per year in those different special assessments. In Central Murrieta, because of the age that it was built, most of those homes were built anywhere from like 1988 to like 2001, 2002. They tend to be those low tax neighborhoods and no HOAs. So that's a plus for people. People also really like the fact that it is so central, so you can easily access both freeways. We talked about the 15 freeway. It's just as easy to get on there, and then the 215 freeway is just a mile down the street the other way from most parts of town. So it's super accessible, so it's really easy to go north or south depending where you need to head. So that's gonna be a plus for people. And again, it's just the overall affordability tends to be really good there because it is a little bit older area. The third area that I want to talk about is the East Murrieta area. So again, you have that 215 freeway, so anything east of the 215 is going to be considered East Murrieta. There's pros and cons to that. Actually, that is where I have lived for most of my adult life has been spent living in East Murrieta. So there's pros and cons. The pro is it's less expensive than the west side, so it's a little bit more affordable, so which is nice, right? There's still some nicer, newer communities, so which is a good thing. Also, it's one of the thing that I liked the best about living in East Murrieta is that it is so close to Temecula. Really, it butts up, it touches the borders of East Murrieta, touch the borders of Temecula. So because of that, you're super close to Temecula and all the cool stuff that Temecula has to offer, right? So even though I lived in Murrieta, I was only like 10 minutes away from the wineries. We're about 10 minutes away from the mall. We're a little bit farther from the stuff on the other end of town. But with all the cool amenities that the city of Temecula has, it's really nice and convenient to be so close to those. So that's going to be a plus. Also, East Murrieta tends to be a little bit newer construction too. So the houses tend to be like maybe built 2003 and newer, 2003, 2008, 2010, and then even some new construction that's still going on as well. There's one big, huge master plan community that has a lot of the new construction stuff that's in East Murrieta. So that's that Spencer's Crossing area. If you guys have seen any of those properties online, it's very nice. It's a big, massive planned community. It is, they're newer, so they're open concept. People tend to like those, which is nice. Now the con to some of those places in East Murrieta, the newer homes are going to have those higher taxes. So the property taxes tend to be a little bit higher than other parts of town because they're a little bit newer. So there's always going to be pros and cons to everything. I think it's a nice pro to be close to Temecula and be able to access all the stuff that that part of town has to offer. All right, so that's kind of the breakdown of the three major areas in Murrieta. Just a couple of other things that I wanted to mention. If you are thinking about making a move here, you really want to pay attention to the freeway access and think about where you're at, right? So if you are going to live, let's say, like in that Spencer's Crossing area over in the east side of Murrieta, which is a very nice community, and you need to commute south to San Diego off the 15 freeway, it's going to be a hike from where you live on one side of town to where you have to jump on the freeway on the other, and it's all traffic all the time on those main roads, especially during rush hour. So you may look at one home in Murrieta that's close to the freeway versus one home that is farther away from the freeway, and your commute time on a daily basis might change maybe 20 minutes from one part of town to the other. And that's actually the case. I told you I lived for a long time time over on the East Murrieta side to get. We have friends where, from our house where we lived in East Murrieta, we had friends that were over on the west side on the other end of town, and at times it can be a 20-25 minute commute just to go from one side of town to the other, just because it's all traffic jammed, right? It's all just clogged up all the time. So that's something to pay attention to if you are making a commute, just where you're at close to the freeways. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention, not a lot of people realize that there are a few 55 plus communities here in Murrieta. So there's actually 3. The community is called The Colony. It's here in central Murrieta. It's a really nice central location. It's guard gated. Could be a really, really good option for people. They have more of a stricter HOA, which tends to be the case in 55 plus. There's also another 55 plus community that's called Four Seasons. That's closer on that East Murrieta side, kind of on the border to Temecula Murrieta. It's not guard gated, but still an equally strict HOA. And then there is another less expensive 55 plus community that is located right off Murrieta Hot Springs, kind of right on the border of the east side. That's going to be more the manufactured home community. So that's called the Knolls. So that they tend to be less expensive there. They're probably about 150, 200 grand less than the traditional stick-built homes. So that's just something to keep in mind. In general, I guess I should give the disclaimer, all over the city, I think City Murrieta overall is a really nice place to live. I think probably 98% of town is going to be a nice area. There's really not like a bad area. It's not like a bad neighborhood or two, to live in. They really don't exist. I guess the one exception, there is one area that has like some different multifamily rental apartments where they have triplexes and quadplexes and stuff like that. It doesn't really have a very, very good reputation. So that's probably the one area that I tend to tell people to be careful of and think about if you're actually going to live there, and maybe drive through at night and whatnot. But as far as that, is usually not a home that most people are going to be buying in that area. So just something to pay attention to. But I hope that's good information for you guys. Hopefully it gives you some of the differences between the 3 parts of town. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out. Again, you can feel free to call, text, email. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.